welcome to the Lifestyle First podcast. My name is Dr. Alka Patel. I am your host and I'm here discussing lifestyle medicine and making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1 question, 2 research reviews and 3 actionable health tips in each Light Bite episode. All centered around the Lifestyle First method, your blueprint for the 10 key roots of health and happiness. This is Series 2, Episode 5, and the theme in the Lifestyle First method we'll be exploring today is E, exercise. Now, we talked in Series 1 about exercise as medicine, and I just wanted to zone into this a little bit more, particularly as with the current coronavirus upon us, we all need to make sure we have as much internal and external strength as possible to fight this. We need our immune systems to be as fit as possible. So today, the one question we'll be exploring is, how can exercise benefit your immunity? So to explore this, I've reviewed 2 pieces of information. The first is a paper by John Campbell and James Turner. That's in the Frontiers of Immunology, debunking the myth of exercise-induced immune suppression. And the second is a literature review on physical activity, immunity and infection by John Rome and his team in the journal, The Proceedings of the Nutritional Society. So taking this information into consideration, moderate exercise, so the sort where your heart rate increases and you feel a bit breathless and can just about talk but can't sing, which you do for 150 minutes a week, that is good for you. And you can break this down into 30-minute chunks, 5 days a week, and you can break this down even further into 10-minute bites. And we can all find pockets of 10 minutes in our day, can't we? Less than 10 minutes is of course better than 0 minutes, so do what you can when you can. And I love doing 1-minute exercises, but try and keep 10 minutes in your focus as the minimal length of meaningful exercise whenever you can, as it's this duration or longer which has shown benefits. And it's this sort of exercise which has been shown to boost immunity. You're less likely to get cold symptoms or infections of the upper part of your respiratory tract. And if you do get an infection, you're more likely to recover quickly. And it's really good to get into that exercise habit because you get the greatest boost to your immunity once you've been exercising like this regularly for 3 months. But don't worry, if you haven't been a regular exerciser up to now, well, now's as good a time as any to start, because even a single individual exercise session has benefits. Your immune cells circulate more widely after every exercise session, and you stay at this heightened place of immunity and defense for up to 3 hours after exercise. In fact, if you've been relatively sedentary up to this point, you stand to gain the greatest benefit from developing an exercise habit, and age is no barrier. Now, there have been some myths that a single bout of exercise can suppress your immune system, but this is not so. Yes, there's a drop in your circulating white blood cells that fight infection, cells called lymphocytes after you exercise, but this is because your white blood cells are being redistributed to tissues where they might be needed, such as your lungs. And in fact, this redistribution is really important and shows that your immune system is in a heightened surveillance mode, which we all need at the moment. There really is limited reliable evidence that exercise increases the risk of infection. So it's important to keep up exercise whilst at home. And even though you can't get to gyms or leisure facilities or outdoor places for exercise during this time of coronavirus, you can still be mindful of social distancing and be outside in your garden or step in front of your front door. With so many of the UK population deficient in vitamin D, simply by virtue of the latitude at which we live, getting some sunlight, exercise and escaping from your work home setup will enhance vitamin D production, which is also in itself associated with a decreased risk of respiratory infections. It's because vitamin C stimulates monocytes, a type of white blood cell which can eliminate invading viruses. But just a word of caution, don't exercise whilst you are ill if you actually have a fever, because exercise in this scenario can hamper your immunity. When you have a fever, there are several changes that occur in your body. Your immune system is functioning at an enhanced level, and at the same time your metabolic demands are increased with a need for more energy and more oxygen. You're losing more fluids and your muscle strength is reducing. So if you exercise whilst you have a fever, you're increasing the metabolic demands on your body even more, and with more demands on your heart to increase blood flow and more risk of dehydration and worsening infection, all of which can be dangerous. So just avoid strenuous exercise like running or weight training when you have a fever above 38 degrees, but keep walking and keep moving. Makes me think of a bit of an offshoot question though. So should you let a fever ride out, or should you suppress it? Now, there are two schools of thought. One, that fever should be suppressed because it puts the body under high metabolic demand and stress. And the other is that fever is actually a protective, adaptive response that enhances the function of our immune response. Well, research trials in critically unwell patients haven't shown any conclusive evidence that treating a fever has benefits, although it does help us to feel more comfortable. So it's a really difficult question to answer, and I think we just need more research before being able to answer that question more confidently. So exercise, well, it really is beneficial for immunity, and it is important to build this into your daily routines. Do what you love and enjoy. The idea of exercise is to smile through it so that you stay smiling after, because it really does make you feel good. So now here are your 3 health hacks, your 3 activating actions, your lifestyle first prescription. This is my favourite part of the podcast because it takes us from theory to practice, and it's great to be able to give you tools for thought and tips for action that can really make a significant difference to your health and your happiness. So today I'm prescribing exercise. So number 1, let's play. Oh, to be a child, how many toddlers do you know that can keep still? None. That endless urge to keep moving and keep playing. So think back to your childhood. Kick a ball just for fun. Get on your hands and knees with the kids. Get the hula hoop out of the shed. Get those water guns out. Do what you did when you loved playing when you were a child. Just do it again. Just do it for 10 minutes. Number 2, let's dance. It's just automatic, isn't it? When the music comes on, there's movement, whether it's a tap of the foot or a sway of the hips or a nod of the head. You just can't help it. So find your favourite tracks that get you moving, put them on repeat and dance like nobody's watching, because nobody is. And number 3, let's stay in one spot. It's a misconception that you need space to be able to exercise. All you need is the ground beneath you. So if you're feeling energized, then lift up your knees high and jog up and down on the spot. If you're a little less agile, then bend your knees just a little less and walk on the spot. And if it's hard to stay standing, then sit down and keep moving those legs up and down. You'll soon find your heart rate racing, your breathing getting faster, all great signs that your immunity is getting the burst that it needs. And that concludes today's episode, making self-care as easy as 1, 2, 3. With the backing of information and evidence from the field of lifestyle medicine. I really hope this has inspired you to take some action. Please don't forget to subscribe and to share, because the more you share, the more you too are instrumental in spreading messages of health that matter. And of course, please do leave me comments and ratings and a review so that I can continue to provide you with credible, motivating, thought-stimulating and practical information that lets you shape your health and be the author of your own health story. You can connect with me on all the usual social media channels at dralkapatel.com and use the hashtag the Lifestyle First Podcast or TLFP so that I can easily connect with you. And if you want to know more and access show notes and free resources, then just head on over to my website www.dralkapatel.com. I look forward to welcoming you back next week.